Hi everyone, it's Diane. I know I'm supposed to be working on the chocolate journals, but today's Sunday and I just feel like playing a little bit. So I'm going to get to this project that I mentioned that I got all excited about when I couldn't sleep one night. So I'm going to work on that because it's going to be a really, well, not really quick, but quicker. I can get enough done that I'll be able to like sew it together while I watch TV and stuff. So, do you remember my glue book? Remember this really fat book? If you saw this in a video before, it's been in more than one video. But I made this several years ago out of a National Geographic book with a beautiful cover. I think it's a 4-inch spine. Well, 3.5 inch. 3.5 inch spine, and I had so much fun, I got carried away, and I ended up with 6 signatures. So basically, it's just a true junk journal with lots of junk in it. It's got this Hallmark paper bag, an envelope from National Geographic, some mail, a little trifold mail thing that came, book page. There's some scrapbook paper. This is actually some vellum from Applebee's. It was a clean one I asked for. More book pages. This was something I printed, and I don't even know why. It was a map. I don't know why it was printed, but it was in my stash on cardboard or cardstock. So that's in there. Just all kinds of stuff. There's a book cover, paperback book cover, and then after it's put together, you just have it to glue things in. It's just got images glued in that I like. You can do collages. It doesn't have to make sense. You can do images that you just like for some reason and you want to keep them. You could do, what are they called? Collections or something like that, where each page is full of a page of shoes or a page of something red or things like that. It's very relaxing to actually work in the glue book. I like to use images from vintage magazines along with new magazine images, stamped pieces, leftover scrapbook pieces, just whatever I have. There's a blue bonnet margarine. I think that was a sticker, and a Simply Lemonade sticker. So when I showed this before, there were a lot of people interested in it, and I had a blank one that I hadn't started yet. It was made with the same kind of book. It was the same size, and it had the letter H on the front for my name, my last name. But people wanted to buy it even though it had the H. And the first person who asked me, her last name actually starts with H too. So I sold it to her. But when it's blank, these two edges of the front edges of the book, they touch. But when you start filling it up, it gets fat. So I decided I have so many book covers and so much stuff to go in them that I decided I was going to make some glue books to sell. I thought that a while ago, and I wanted to make it soon after Christmas, so why not? So look at this awesome book cover. It is very stained along the edge, and the edge is worn. I might be able to put a book corner on that. I don't know if I'm going to put fabric or something there to cover it. I kind of like the way it looks. This spine isn't quite 3 inches. I want to make the spines 3 inches on these instead of 3.5. But this one is almost 3 inches, but I'm going to leave it because I like the spine the way it is. I will reinforce it. And the back again is stained, but I just love this. The World's Book of Knowledge and Universal Educator. And there's Thomas Edison in there. And the pages that came out of this book were really cool. I will definitely be using them, and some of them are in here. The other book that I have is this one, Municipal Index and Atlas, another really cool cover. You can see how faded it is up here. And this is a nice spine, but it's not big enough. I'm going to make a 3-inch spine for that. And if these are well accepted, if people are interested in them, I have 2 more covers that I can use. I have this one, Illustrated Atlas for Young America. I thought that was cute, and I like the size of these. And decorating, creative home decorating. So I could use these books. So I could do 4. at this point, and then I can always do more later. But anyway, let me just show you what I'm thinking of for the insides. So for this one, I have these 3 large envelopes, and they're all different. This one came in the mail. I think this one came inside something. No, I guess this was the outer envelope, but it was a political thing, a petition. So I'm using that as the cover of this signature, and then right now I just have lots of stuff inside that I need to cut to size and arrange and maybe put some tabs on, but I will be doing no decorating because that's for the owner to do. That's what a glue book is all about. So that's why I think I can, just get these projects done pretty quickly. I'm going to, have to make the covers and trim the papers. And like I said, maybe add some tabs, or maybe I'll just include the tabs that you can add them the way you want to. So I have that one, and then this is just one of my envelopes that I use for mailing my some of my products in when people order. So I just took one of those, and I'll use that. And again, it's just got all kinds of stuff inside. I'll go into more detail as I make the book. And then this one is a used intracompany envelope from DuPont. It's got names on it and crossed out, but you're going to be gluing over all of that. And I will leave the envelope part open so that you can put things inside these envelopes. And there's just stuff in here waiting for me to get it all ready. And for this one, I have envelopes, but they're a different kind. These are large Hallmark envelopes from the large size card. So I will cut that up the middle so that these flaps can be opened and things can be tucked inside. But all of the signatures begin, there should only be 3 in there. They all begin with one of these yellow envelopes. This just came in the mail a couple days ago, and I want to include this somehow in one of these books because it's a nice trifold. I'll have to trim it a little bit. And I did start putting signatures together for this one, and this one has calendar pages. This is a cardstock calendar that you were supposed to stamp and decorate and stuff, and then you'd have to fill in the dates yourself. I've had it for probably 15 years at least. So I took it apart, and each of these signatures has that for a cover, and I will have to trim that down too. This one, I just selected this book cover today, so I haven't done anything as far as getting signatures ready for it. So what we're going to do today is, I have this one to reinforce. The other ones will have built spines. So I'm going to reinforce this one right now. I cut my cardstock, or my chipboard, to fit in here. So I'm going to glue that in. And then I'm going to reinforce with some Tyvek. And then I'll put some fabric over it. No, not fabric, because I don't want to cover this. Well, I'll probably put fabric on the inside, but not wrap it around, because I want to keep the outside spine. And this paper, the end paper, is really pretty too. I like it. And I am trying to get the cap off of my Fabri-Tac. It was glued on. So I'm using Fabri-Tac to glue this down by Beacon. It's a very good glue and quick drying. I measured the spine, make sure that this is going to close. Yeah. And then cut my chipboard to fit in here. Trying to decide if I want to use my red tape or my Fabri-Tac for this. I think I'll use my tape. I probably, if I'd cut this, I probably would have cut it a little bit bigger, but this, I just happen to have this piece, and I'm just going to use it. It will fit, and I'm going to cover it with fabric anyway. So I'll take my red tape. It's actually not red, but the liner that you have to peel off is red. And it comes in different brands at different craft stores. I usually get mine at Hobby Lobby, and it looks smaller than this. This one I mean at Michael's. This one probably came from Hobby Lobby. But Joann's has it in a different brand. It might be their own brand. I was just at Joann's yesterday, and I think that they have a new brand. I think it must be their store brand, and I can't remember the name of it. But their red tape is a lot more expensive. It's about $2.99 at the other stores, and at Joann's it was $4.49. So it's $1.50 more. I didn't look to see if it had more tape on the roll though. So I just put it along both long edges and both short edges. And I don't need to adhere it in the center because I'll be stitching through that. So that will hold it down. Peel off the backing and put my arms around my tripod so I can do this. I'm giving my tripod a hug. Okay, so you see how these front edges of the book touch? They will probably almost touch or continue to touch by the time the signatures are put in. I gave it a wide spine. It will only have 3 signatures, but that will give you room to add stuff, and then the book will fatten up. You'll watch it grow as you add stuff to it. And I didn't choose any fabric to cover this with because I forgot that I was going to need some for the inside. So let me grab my box of fabric here, see if I have anything in here that I can use. How about that toile? Yeah, I like that. That was easy. That was easy. Or I have this. Someone just sent this. Somebody sent me this, the toile too. That's cool. I like that too. So I'm not sure which one I'll use. I think I'll use this. So I need to even up the edge. This is cut quite crooked here. When you tear fabric, cotton fabric, it just tears along the grain so you get a straight edge. I know I've told you that before. So it's not going to be wrapped around, so it won't be covering, you know, the very top edge, but that's okay. And the bottom edge. That's okay. It's a glue book. And I will use my Fabri-Tac for this. Just put some all around the edge. Again, I will be stitching down the center, but I'll glue it down too. Looks like when the glue dries, I'll just have to trim that a little bit. Hangs down a little. I'm not going to bend it, close it up while the glue is still wet, because I want it to dry in place. I don't want the fabric to, you know, gather up and pucker and stuff. So I'm just going to let that dry. And I will work on this cover. I already have a piece of chipboard cut to size for this one. I cut it to the right height of the book, and I cut it 3 inches. And I am just going to cut this spine off. Tear it off. It's so old. That was easy. On these books, I'm keeping the liner, I think, on all 4 of them, because this one has that, which I like. I think this has furniture. Yeah, well, that's really cool. Yeah, so I'll keep the end papers for all of the journals, glue books. Of course, you can use it for whatever you want. But since I'm not doing any decorating, I will be taking the time to go through my supplies and put together packs of, like a starter pack, to help you get started on your gluing. So I will include things that I would put in my glue books, magazine and book illustrations, and maybe some stickers, and I don't know what all, but I'll go through and find things that I will include in the packs. So I'm lining these up. I use my grid on my pad here on my mat to make sure they're all lined up. What I didn't do was cut my Tyvek. This is just a Tyvek envelope. They have them at Walmart now. Before I had only seen them at Staples, and my friend gave me hers. She didn't use them anymore, so she gave me hers, and they go a long way because I just cut a small piece each time I want to make a cover. So I'm just making sure. It doesn't have to be super straight because it's all going to be covered. I just have to get it the right width. Cut this part off. And again, I'm going to be using my red tape. And I have done this process before with my other books that I make with a smaller spine. So, you know, I've shown how I put my books together. And this is the same process with this one. Get them all lined up again. Put a little bit of space between the spine and the cover so that they have room to bend. peel the backing off. Sorry, I'm off camera. I feel like my tripod is encroaching on my space more than normal. I didn't set it up very well. Well, that's... Oh. Why didn't that stick? It's crooked because I didn't get much on this side, but I got more on that side. I wonder if I can fix that without ripping that really nice end paper. Yeah. I just don't want to cover up too much of that. Okay, so I'm going to have to cover up some of that because that won't be sticky enough now. It's stuck to the chipboard here and stuck to the edge of the book on that side. This side is good. Sorry about that. Just made this video a little longer. What I could do is just add some glue. Because the tape is still sticky, I just don't know if it's sticky enough. So I'll just add some glue. That tape, $3 a roll doesn't sound like much, but it goes pretty quick. Now I can't get this tape backing off. There we go. Okay, let us try this again. Get out of there. And I moved the book. I don't usually have this much trouble doing this. Let's do it this way. Goodness. Okay. I think we got it. Put some more glue on that part. It got dry. I really don't have this much problems doing this. I just lay it down and it's done. Okay, now for the paper or the fabric, I thought it would be fun to use this because it's a large print and fun and vibrant, and it contrasts with this vintage old boring municipal index, and the print is large and the spine is wide, so I thought it would be a good time to try to use this. I think I got this in the remnant bin at Walmart. I like finding fabrics that I probably wouldn't normally pick out in that remnant bin. If I think I can use them for a junk journal, I'll pick them up. So I cut it so that it will cover the entire inside and outside. I usually put it on so that there's just a small flap at the bottom, and then this will cover it facing down, so the seam is facing down. But, well, let's just turn it around because I don't want that to show, the selvage edge. Okay, so there we have it. Yeah, I like the way that looks on this old book. That's fun. Sorry. I just rocked your world. So I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac on this little flap down here. I try to not let the Tyvek show, but if it does, I'm probably going to just put some sort of a trim on the edging anyway. That's a little bit too long. I can use either a trim or border, an edge cut piece of paper to edge it out. Okay, so just so I know where I need to put the glue, I just start right here. And then I will glue this part. Sorry. Got right in your face. So maybe even this evening I can sew some signatures in these books. Then all I would have to do is gather up the supplies that I will put with them. Stuff to glue down, and I've got tons of magazine images and stuff. I think, I'm not positive, but I think one of my friends is interested in one of these, and so I'm going to let her see which one she might want, and if she has changed her mind and doesn't want one, then these will both go in the shop. So the Tyvek is showing right here. I'll have to make sure that gets covered. Okay. I will add some trim to this and probably to this one, to the inside. Doesn't really need it on this one, so I don't know. It's got a nice little frayed edge to it, but the Tyvek is all covered. I like the frayed look. I will trim this, a little bit of this off though if I can. So there are the covers of 2 of them, and I will work on the 3rd cover, maybe the 4th, I don't know, and see where we go from there. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.